You're listening to Townsquare Sunday. The Dartmouth High School Alumni Association is all about helping current students achieve their goals and get to college. To that end, the association holding a fundraiser on August 18th. Here to talk about the event and the work of the association is the president, Enid Silva, and also the vice president, Susan Bullock, of the Dartmouth High School Alumni Association. Both of you, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for seeing us.
Okay, so Enid, give us some background about the Alumni Association. First off, when did it start? What's it all about?
Okay, we started in 1907. I'm using the large term.
But you weren't around then,
large term we, because I was not around, but I have been around for 60 years, so I guess I can almost
close.
say that I've got
Right.
a lot of equity into it.
Mm-hmm.
Our main purpose, even in 1907, was to reward the high school graduating seniors. In those days, it was maybe a not a gift certificate, but a prize of some kind, because scholarship didn't enter into this until in the early 60s, late 50s, because prior to that they were giving loans and then being very upset because no one paid the loans back. Yeah. So we transferred that energy over to scholarships, and we've been giving out scholarships every single year since I started with them in 1958. So that's
an amazing record in
60
itself.
years of scholarships. Yeah. And this year was our prize package. We had many applications, and we're able to give out 19 scholarships to 19 graduating seniors from Dartmouth High. And
Susan Bullock, this is your primary mission, I guess, with this group, is really scholarships now.
Absolutely. It's our sole mission.
All right. Now, to that end, you're holding a fundraiser on August 18th at the Dartmouth YMCA. This is the, for those who don't know what that is, the Share the Harvest farm on Gulf Road. And tell us more, Susan, about that.
Well, it's our third annual fundraiser, wine tasting fundraiser. The second one we're having at the YMCA, and it's on Sunday, August 18th from 4 to 7. And we're going to have some great entertainment from the Dartmouth High Alumni Band, some former students that were band members and musicians that get together, including some fairly recent and current Dartmouth High students are going to join them.
That's great.
So that's a lot of fun. We also have a really large amount of donated items for a silent auction, which was really well attended, well responded to last year.
Yes. We're hoping, yes.
So, Enid, what sort of you had a crowd last year?
We had a decent crowd last year.
Yeah.
We had a different venue, but this time we're under the canopy at the YMCA, so it's a much easier time for 3 or 4 hours in the hot sun. On our first one was like, can you bake your people before they get enough wine into them? Now we're nice and cool. If we keep the wind down, we'll be all set. We hope we get a better turnout because we're closer to civilization than we were out at Pardon Hill. And we can have people drive by and come in. It's not something that if you don't get a ticket, you can't come. Right. And it's not a function that is just for Dartmouth High School alumni people. It's a general public. We like anyone, friends of Dartmouth High School. People who have not been into that part of town might enjoy just coming by to see the beautiful vista of the YMCA.
Now, I'm not a wine guy, but I don't know, one of you two, or maybe both, know a little bit about wine. But there is a, that you didn't buy these bottles off the shelf. I mean, this is high class stuff, right?
Yeah. No, our wine is from the Coastal Vineyard, which is our own South Dartmouth vineyard, located on Pardon Hill Road, and it's really great to support a local business as well. And this is the third time that David has helped us with the wine tasting.
That's great. Do you have a fundraising goal, Enid, for this?
Oh, sure. If we can make enough money to give out 1 or 2 scholarships, that would be ideal. And our first and second have been that way, so we're assuming we're just going to creep up to maybe get the worth of 3 scholarships. Mm-hmm. But other than that, we also do suppers all year long, just about 6 out of 12 months, depending on the weather. And that's been our exclusive fundraiser, other than asking for donations when we send out our newsletter, and we appeal to them to join for $10 for life.
So you've got not a foundation, but a pot of money you've already raised, and you're looking to increase that with
To
this,
keep it up, yes.
and hopefully give out more scholarships.
Yes,
That's the key thing here.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's
That's
what
it.
this organization is doing. You're listening to Townsquare Sunday. I'm Jim Phillips. My guest is Enid Silva and Susan Bullock of the Dartmouth High School Alumni Association. So how many scholarships have you awarded in recent years? I think you mentioned 19.
19 this year. I think it was 15 last year. It's been between 10 and 15 for the last few years, and that's something we don't have any record of. We'd have to go back in our archives. It's a lot of people, and just like them loaning the money, we seldom see those that get the scholarships come back with their $10 for life.
Yeah,
which seems to be a very high-priced deal. So we
seems
don't even get them back as life members. But you know what? We sally forth.
Yeah.
We're not here to have negative. We're here to have positive.
Yeah. But that's the membership for this organization?
Yeah,
$10 for life.
It used to be $5 when I joined in '58, and we boosted it up to $10. And we have about 800 alumni members who paid their $10 for life. And sometimes when they get forgetful, they pay another $10 and have a second life.
How many other types of projects is the association involved in? You mentioned these dinners. Tell me about that, Susan.
Well, it's been going on for many years. Used to be at the Old Town Hall and on Russell's Mills Road,
Yeah,
and now it's at the Council on Aging. It's a Saturday night, and we usually make them food ourselves, and we have a great turnout of local older people that want to join us. It's an early night. It's 5:30.
About 7 I wrote down.
Yeah, we're done to.
So how many of these do you have a year?
Well, depending on the weather. The wintertime is awful weather, so that we sometimes only can get 2 out of maybe 3 months. And then the summer, if it gets really hot, we have, I think she's, I don't want to say her age if I'm wrong, we have an over 80s chef who attends to the kitchen, so she doesn't really like to work in the summer, and I can't blame her. So we don't do much during the summer. We'll start up again in
Spring
September.
and fall.
Yeah.
All right. And those are the two main fundraisers, this fundraiser
Right.
and those dinners.
Right.
Which
The other
seem
would
to-
be when we send out our newsletter once a year asking them to join, and we have a fundraiser that one of our members of the class of 1959, Bruce Nurjohn, moved up to Vermont and has a ski place up at Vermont, and he has donated for the last 5 years, I think, free weekend or during the week if it's during the snow season, to his lodge up in Stowe, Vermont, called the...
Okay, it's a
Yes,
lodge.
It's a lodge.
But let me just, so that's up for
That's
grabs?
That's up for not now. It'll start up when we send out our next newsletter.
Okay.
We just pick someone at our bank.
So what are some of the other items that are up for, I guess, auction on the 18th?
We have a lot of gift certificates from local businesses, and we have some artwork and some donated items from different businesses, gift baskets, some fresh produce, and some fresh plants and garden items from some of our local people.
So I have to tell you that I'm a little bit surprised that folks don't come back and
Well, I think when
say
they,
thanks.
Well, I think they say thanks at the banquet.
Yeah.
They graduate, they go off, and it takes about 5 or 6 years before they establish themselves. And if they're not local, then getting them back to be local is difficult, which is why we try to send out the newsletters, which I've come to find out we are the only group that holds all these records of the graduates of Dartmouth High School, because they don't have them anywhere at the high school. Once you graduate, I think they may do a year or two after that. They keep track just so that they can have a sense of who went on to college and who went into the service and stuff like that. That's perennial. They do that all the time. But the superintendent's office does not keep a record of graduates and where they are. So when you want to have a reunion, you have more or less have no one to ask except us, because we'll have an updated list for you to use, because we keep sending out. This year we sent out 3,500 letters asking for their donations and their entry into that skiing trip up at the Commodore. I think I finally got it.
All right.
The Commodore.
Commodore
All right.
in Stowe, Vermont.
So, what's been the maximum number of scholarships you've given out over the
This
years?
year.
This year?
We were fortunate enough to have a graduate from the class of 1944 bequeath us half of her estate, and it's only to be used as scholarship. So the money we got from the Mary Pinero will go on for longer than we'll be alive because it was a large amount. But we can't rest on our laurels. We have to make sure that the group still stays intact, and you don't stay intact when you have a large foundation. They seem to want to relax, and you can't relax because before you know it, it's over.
Yeah. So Miss Pinero, was she a member?
She was a member. She gave us money through the years in memory of her sister who stayed here in Dartmouth and did not finish high school because she took care of the family. So after her demise, her sister sent us money in honor of her. And then Mary continued to send money in her behalf, and we presented scholarships in Mary's honorable scholarships. And last year she passed away at 94, and we now do a memorial scholarship to her.
And
So with extra money in the coffers, we decided this might be the year that we should be a little more generous. And we had quite a few applications, which is unusual. And we had 19 seniors that passed the muster.
I would have to tell you, it's probably going to be a lot of applications again the next time you give out scholarships because it simply is getting more and more expensive to go to school. I mean, it's not an inexpensive exercise for sure.
Which is why we say we cannot give them the full amount of a tuition, but if we give them a pat on the back with our scholarship and they feel as though people believe in them, we're pushing them into the next phase of their life, and that's a good thing.
How many active members do you have? Did you mention that?
Oh, on a good day, if we have food, maybe 15 to 17 local people.
But you have a lot of people signed up, though.
We have people that will, they'll give a $10, $50. When that newsletter goes out, they come back alive again and they send money in, and we appreciate that in whatever form it comes in. If it's dedicated to a scholarship, that's where it goes. If it's for our general fund, that's also where it goes. And nothing goes anywhere to a paid position or anything like that. We all just muster ourselves up and do freebie volunteer hours.
Sure. And Susan, you want to mention something?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that there are other families, friends of people that have passed that they want to honor that do give us funds to give out, and they let us make the decision of who receives the scholarship. We also have a class that has gathered together with their reunions and raises money, and for the past few years has given us a scholarship in memory of their class.
1964.
And that would be a great thing if more graduates from years could get together and just pool their funds and support the graduates.
It is a community effort. It's called the Dartmouth High School Alumni Association. They award scholarships every year, and they would like you to attend their fundraiser, which is August 18th at the Dartmouth YMCA Share the Harvest Farm. Tickets are $20 per person. It's a wine tasting, but there are lots of other things to enjoy as well, including a silent auction at that day. My thanks to Enid Silva and Susan Bullock of the Dartmouth High School Alumni Association for coming in. Good luck with this event. Hope you can pack them in.
I hope so.
And bring some money into the organization.
Thank you for having us.
All right. That's it for Townsquare Sunday. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, have a great week and a wonderful Sunday.